I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's liberation in, being an empowered woman and being able to be like, this is my body and I'm proud of it. I'm
Yeah.
only this young for so long.
That was Ari Bacardi, a model, playmate, and ex-paralegal. Welcome to the Iron Mind Podcast. Join me, Josh Brumley, as we explore the minds of those who've forged their paths through legal battles, business triumphs, and creative conquests. We uncover the stories behind their iron wills and innovative minds. Get ready for thought-provoking conversations, practical insights, and actionable advice. This is the Iron Mind Podcast. So introduce yourself for everybody who doesn't know you. Let's talk about who you are and what you'd like to talk about on the podcast today.
So I'm Ariana Ramirez. I go by Ari Bacardi. I got that name for a crazy reason a long time ago.
Okay.
But I would say I'm a former music video model, even though I still kind of do that. But I'm also a playmate and a Playboy bunny as of recent. I recently went to like a Playboy casting and they kind of reached back out. Now it's not finalized on who's an exact playmate and who's like an exact Playboy bunny.
Mm-hmm.
But they reached out to me wanting me to make a subscription for my followers. So it's not like entirely like OnlyFans, but people want to see my work and they want to see kind of like my photo shoot that I did for them for Playboy. So that's kind of like what I'm doing now. And the business is still me. I'm still my own business. So I still model, but I want to incorporate kind of my personality in it too, because I feel like people don't really know models. They just think like, oh, they're so pretty, they're stuck up. Not saying I am, but I'm just saying, like, they don't really know what they do or what they're kind of about or what their brand is about. So I kind of wanted to talk about that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what's the difference between being a playmate and being a Playboy bunny? I don't know anything about that life.
Bunny is like a girl who might work at the events. Like they might do Playboy Live. They might, I don't know. They just kind of might work at like a Playboy event as like a server or like a model or
and that's what a bunny is.
Yeah, a bunny.
Okay.
And then a playmate, you're actually centerfold. So sometimes you might be on the cover of Playboy magazine or you might be in the center of it. Now Playboy is rebranding because Hugh died years ago. So now they're kind of rebranding, trying to find new models, trying to find the same message, but in today's time, because that was such an early 2000s
not a lot of people buying magazines in 2025.
It's all digital now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So is the work as like a centerfold still a digital thing? Do they still make the magazine or how does that work?
They're going to start doing it pretty soon.
Oh, they're going to remake the magazine.
Yeah.
Republish the magazine again.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they're going to start doing that again because they found that was what was popular. And that's what people miss, the nostalgia of Playboy. So.
There's like a whole like a market for vintage Playboy magazines, like at like antique shops and stuff.
Yes.
Like people collect antique like vintage Playboy magazines.
My dad used to collect them.
Is that weird to talk about, or is that like?
No, I think that's so. It might sound weird, but I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't know what that was unless it was my dad. Like. Yeah. He would have them just in the bathroom because people like when they're in the bathroom, they just like look through things. Like when we'd have guests come over, like I have a lot of family, and so I would just be like, I was not allowed to be looking at it, but I would look at it because I was like, and I would tell my mom like, oh, I want to do this. My mom was like, you're 10. Why would you want to do that? Okay. But I thought it was so cool.
You knew at 10 years old that's what you wanted to do with your career.
I mean, ideally, but when Hugh died, I didn't think there would be a chance anymore. I was like, okay, whatever, But when I heard that they had their audition, I was like, oh, I'm coming. So
what was that like? What was the audition? Where'd you go? What was?
So I went to Playboy headquarters. I can't say too much because I signed an NDA, but I can give you like brief details. But yeah, I basically went to the headquarters in I think West Hollywood, and I flew down because I live back out here now. And I was like, I'm just gonna go do this. And basically, I met like the talent scout and. They had all these girls lined up, and I think you have to be invited in order to come. Like, you have to apply, and they have to like formally email you back and say, hey, like, you can come in and, you know, audition, just like any other casting.
Sure.
So I went in, and I just remember being so excited and seeing all the pretty girls and feeling like, oh my God, this is really happening. Like, this is crazy. So I do my little shoot, and they ask me questions, and then they only picked like a few girls to do like a private interview. And so I did a private interview with them, and I thought, okay, this is a good sign. Like, I got called back to do a private interview with them, like taped. So
The same day or
same
later
day.
on? Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, and the girls were like, well, where's all the other girls? They're like, I think we've been pre-selected. Like, that's good, you know? So then a week later, I got hit up by one of the talent scouts, and she was like, hey, I saw you at the casting. We're not done auditioning girls, but I would really love if you could make like a Playboy subscription for your followers. We want to see how you do. So I was like, oh, this is a good sign. So that's kind of how it all happened. It all happened so fast.
And was the interview at the mansion, the like famous Playboy mansion? No, okay.
Just the headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did that look like? Was it just like
It
office
was-
space or
It
like
was
what?
an office full of like all the bunnies.
Oh,
Like, it
wow.
has like pictures of all the centerfold girls. There was like a little Playboy game. They even have a little Playboy stand, and like the merch and like the fashion and like the
Cool.
ID. It was so cool. I
Yeah.
was like, this is a real thing. I
Yeah.
just thought it was the mansion that they did everything at, because I used to watch that show.
Yeah.
Like
That's all I
Girls
know
Next
about.
Door.
Yeah, that's
My
all I know
favorite
about.
one was Holly, or I think it was Kendra. Kendra was my favorite one, because she was always like so iconic. I don't know.
Yeah.
You watched that show, right?
Oh my God, that was like 1999 or something crazy.
I was born that year.
Oh my God. Okay, well, whatever year that came out, I have no idea. But yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
any of their names. But
Yeah.
it was the only insight people had into like that whole lifestyle besides just like the magazine and the brand itself. But it's so cool to have built such an iconic brand, and you know, love him or hate him, people know that brand, right? And so it's something that like building your brand, how do you take inspiration from other people who have built, you know, their personal brands in ways like Hugh Hefner built Playboy or other CEOs? Like, do you have idols? Do you have things that you take away from people that have built their own personal brands?
Most definitely. I feel like Hugh, I feel like the brand is about women empowerment, because nobody looks at that and thinks like, I'm probably going to get bleeped for this, but like soft porn. Like, nobody's going to look at that and be like, oh yeah, that this is just like some Pornhub shit. Like, no one's thinking that. Like, they're
Yeah.
looking at it like, this is classy, this is timeless. Like, these women look beautiful. Like, they're naked, but they look gorgeous, you know? So I feel like, as someone who is from Seattle, it is very liberal here. So everyone's like, women empowerment. So I feel like it kind of aligned with my morals in that, you know, there is beauty in modesty, but there's also beauty in, you know, kind of showing who you are. And I think that kind of resonates with me, even though it's a controversial thing. But
You know, this is funny that we're talking about this because there's a really famous Supreme Court case where the Supreme Court had to define pornography, and the definition that they came up with was, I don't know, but I know it when I see it. And so it's like, it's different for everyone what that definition is. And my constitutional law professor actually said, it just kind of like shocked me to hear that the Supreme Court had to be like in the basement of the most high court in the entire country, like watching videos and deciding, is this pornography or is that not pornography? Where's the line, you know?
Where is the line?
It's hard to say. And I think everybody's got to define that for themselves. And, you know, naked people have been a part of art since the beginning of art. So
Since the whole beginning of time, in ancient Egypt. I mean, men wore makeup. It was obviously for like, you know, ritual practices, and like it had meaning behind, a deeper meaning behind it than now, of course, in my opinion. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's liberation in, you know, being an empowered woman and being able to be like, this is my body and I'm proud of it. I'm only this young for so long. So,
well, did you listen to the podcast before you came on?
I did. I watched a few.
Oh, okay,
I watched
good.
a few, and I was like,
okay, he's nice.
He's
okay,
a
good.
nice guy. Like, I'm not gonna get grilled for like
no,
what do your parents think? Like, I don't know about
But you were talking about your mom. What does your mom think about all this?
My mom's supportive.
Yeah.
I
that's
mean,
good.
I started modeling when I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And all in all, like before, obviously Playboy wasn't casting at the time. They just started rebranding and everything. But at the time, I was an import model. I mean, that's kind of a popular
Like cars
thing
and stuff.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
like hot import nights. Like I just started to come to those, and like I just remember like photographers would take pictures, and I don't know. That's how I started. I didn't think anything was gonna come of it. And then I got booked for a couple music videos out in Seattle, and then my Instagram following started to grow just a
Any
little bit.
musicians we might know?
Out here, I don't know if I should disclose that, but the ones in LA I
Yeah.
worked for were I did a Blueface video twice, a
Okay.
DDG video, and then I did NLE Choppa, Chris
Whoa.
Brown,
Whoa.
and Shoreline Mafia. I've done a few Gunu. I mean, he's not really known here. He's more known on the East Coast.
Well, we can put
trying
people
to
on
think.
on the
Yeah,
podcast here.
you
You
could
heard
put
it here
them
first,
on.
guys. We'll link the videos.
Link the videos in the bio. Just
Yeah.
kidding. But no, so I did a few things like that, but I've been in videos where no one knows those artists. I mean, I had an agent at the time, but I started off doing them here, and then I moved down to LA when I was like 20 years old, and I did them it just became a full-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought like, oh, this is like a fun like little side hustle, like whatever. But I don't know. My manager got me paid really well. Shout out to Allie.
Shout out Allie.
Shout out Allie. But yeah, I don't know. I just started like doing them all the time, and I was like, I like this. Like this is something I want to
Music videos.
do. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there were judgy people. Like my mom at first, like she was like, you have your butt out, like, this doesn't look good. But then she started, like, supporting me because she saw that was something I liked doing.
And it was like making good money. You were
Mhm.
making it into a career, not just something that you were going to do for a year and then be over it and be embarrassed that later on it was on the internet.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is what I want to do for my career. This is helping me
it's
to
so
grow.
fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like, I can only do this. And my mom told me you can only do this when you're young. You can't do this when you're 40. Like, when you have kids. I mean, I can, but it's like, when I have
There's
kids,
a different demographic, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Who knows? You know, it could be like a hot MILF. Just kidding. But, like, I don't know.
Do you think I could be in a music video? Like, if I was a good dancer, do you think I could shake ass in a music video? Do you think there's a market for, like, white guy lawyers?
I feel like they could make it a thing.
Maybe, yeah. If I was
I
a really
feel
good
like-
dancer, people would hire me. If
Yeah.
I had Allie as an agent.
Maybe if you had Allie
Could
as an
she
agent,
get me jobs?
she could put you
Because, like,
on.
honestly, this podcast is not making me any money. So maybe I need to get on.
Maybe you could just, you know, there's gay guys that might enjoy. They might enjoy it.
That they might enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you're saying straight women wouldn't enjoy seeing me dance is what you're saying?
I think they would.
Oh, okay.
They
Good.
might.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe like the old MILF lady. I don't know.
Damn it.
They
All right.
might like it,
All right. Well,
but no.
that's my demographic then.
That would be your demographic.
Everybody's
I
got
don't know.
everybody's got to have a market.
Everybody.
What about your dad? You said you're from a pretty conservative household. Is your dad someone that is like, do you?
My dad at first was like, fuck no. This is like, I did not raise you like this. Like, cause my dad, so I'm mixed race. I'm Latino, Black, and Slavic. So my dad he's Mexican and Black, and his mom remarried someone who was Muslim. So he was kind of forced into like a Muslim household, and it's haram for me to be doing anything like that. Now, I
Yeah.
was raised Catholic, so it's a little different because once he left the house, he no longer identified as Muslim. And usually, you know, from my understanding, because I don't want to speak too much on that if I'm not as educated,
Sure.
but I feel like when you're raised in a household like that, you just come with different morals, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But he wasn't that happy about it at first. But then when he started to see how happy it made me eventually, he's like, you're my daughter. I'm going to accept you regardless of what you do in your life. If you feel like you're doing the right thing, but make sure you're not doing anything against something that you don't want to do for money. He's like, because not all money is good money. And
That's
he taught
true.
me that. So I keep that in my heart. Like, if there's something I don't feel comfortable doing with anything in my life, I don't have to do it. And I think there's a stigma with girls who, you know, maybe they show their body a little more, they're more promiscuous, or they really take pride in, you know, how they look, and they're proud of themselves now. that we're okay with anything. And I think even in that industry as a model or whatever people do in their lives, like, you have a choice to say no still. Doesn't mean you're okay with everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's good to kind of break that barrier and let that be known as well. But he ended up being proud of me. But now my dad, unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry
he
to hear
passed
that.
away when I was 23, so 2 years ago. And before he passed, he told me, like, I want you to do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Don't care what anyone fucking says about you.
That's awesome.
Like, do whatever. But
Empowerment.
he was very empowering, a very strong man. He was a businessman, very, very intelligent. He was very he liked to box. Yeah. So anyways, so he inspired me to go back to college because I was like, yeah, I'm doing all this modeling stuff, but like I need a plan B. Like, I can't just do music videos until I'm 80 years old. I could, but I couldn't, you know?
That might be your market. An
Maybe.
80-year-old in a music video would make me want to watch a music video. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like
That
a cool
is
little
so
music
funny.
It's different. And I want something different. Everybody's music videos are the same. I haven't watched
Yeah.
music videos in a long time, but where do you even watch just YouTube?
YouTube.
Yeah.
You sometimes Instagram.
The world is just so different now.
Right.
Anyways, you were saying.
I feel like I'm talking so much.
No, that's the point
But
of the
it's a
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
we're just
la,
chopping it
la.
up. Yeah, that's why you're a good guest. We're just here to yap.
I love yapping. I love yapping on FaceTime with my friends, even though I'm like showing like the ceiling.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But what was I saying?
Why does anyone make phone calls anymore? If you can FaceTime, why wouldn't you?
But sometimes it's like you could look really messed up.
Yeah, but like if it's your friend, who are you here to impress?
True.
It's just your friend. Like
it's just my friend.
This is what you really look like. I'm sorry that you're messed
That's
up.
so
But
true.
that's what you really
That's
look
what
like.
you really look like. The wrinkles are showing.
Yeah, fuck
Your
it
Botox
up.
wore
Yeah, your hair's grown out. Your nail is broken. Who
Nails
gives a
are
fuck?
broken.
Yeah.
Manicure's fucked. It's it's bad.
That's what you look like. You're just on the phone with your friend.
True. And I FaceTime my friend Blessing every day.
Yeah.
We just sit and yap.
Yeah.
Like a podcast.
And you just like set it down and it's just like being on a phone call on speakerphone, but you do a video call.
Yeah, or she'll talk to me while I'm doing my makeup.
Are you the type of girl that sends those really long fucking annoying voice notes? Yeah. Oh, damn it.
You
You're
can
the
tell
problem.
with my voice. I'm just like you can tell
You have
with
a
my
voice meant for really long voice notes.
I
That's
do.
true.
I
Yeah.
feel like people make fun of me because of the way that I sound. They're always just like, are you sure you're from Seattle? You sound like a Valley girl.
Oh.
You really do. I'm like, I used to cry. When I was young, I was bullied a lot about my voice because
Really?
I'm brown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sound so controversial for 1 second because they're going to hate me. Because I'm brown, I think people expected me to sound a certain way if you hear what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And because I sounded like this and like hi, like they like were like, what the fuck? Like, why does she sound like that? You know? But I couldn't help it. Like, I was raised by my
Your voice is your voice.
two white grandparents. Like, I don't know. Like, my grandma sounded like, well, no, she was Slavic, so she sounded like this. But, like, you know, but still, like, I was like, okay, I wasn't raised by, like, my black side of the family as much. So I felt like I wasn't cool when I would come around. Like, I was, like, the white black cousin. Like, they didn't like me like that. But it's okay.
Well, do you have advice for people that might be going through something like that where they're made fun of because they weren't raised a certain way or they don't speak a certain way? Or
I feel like just it doesn't matter what race you are. Like, it breaks the stereotype to, you know, be different, right? Because it's like I'm mixed and I don't need to sound what you want me to sound because of what society, you know, thinks right now. So I think that's kind of the deal with that. And I think that's the best advice I could give people because it takes a while to have thick skin. I still don't. I don't know how I do this every day. Like,
do you have haters? Yeah. Okay, well, how do you get through it?
I don't know.
You FaceTime with your friend and you're like, this person left a mean comment.
Yes, I will
Let's
call
egg
my
their
friend and be
house.
like, it's just really rude that, like, this person, like, I start Kim Kardashian crying.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't believe this person would say this about me. But my friend's
The
like.
middle fingers to wipe the
With
tears.
the middle fingers to
that's
wipe
it.
the tears. No. But no, my friend, she's so gangster, Blessing. Like, she's just like, fuck those bitches.
Also, her name is pretty cool.
Isn't
That's
it
a good
cool?
name.
Every time I tell people about my best friend, shout out to her. She needs to be on this podcast.
Should
She's
she?
fun.
All right. What's her deal?
She's an artist.
Okay.
She's a rapper. Wasn't in her music video yet.
But what? And
Wasn't in
she's
her
your
music-
best friend. You weren't in
Well,
her
because
music
she
video?
doesn't do music videos like that.
Does she need a white guy to shake ass in her
I
music
think she
video?
needs you.
That is a whole different
I
demographic.
think you need to just wear
that
some
might-
shorts and just
Do my
shake it.
damn thing.
You need to do your dance.
All right.
Ice Spice. Just
All right.
kidding. But but no, I love her so much, and she doesn't really do videos, but she's funny as hell. She's been on a lot of like streams with
Cool.
like other creators because she's just has like she's a personality. So, but
Well,
anyway,
shout out Blessing.
shout out Blessing. But yeah, she's so cute. And I've known her for 4 years, and we finally met in person when I moved back here.
Well, so you just met her on the internet and she was just an online best friend?
Yeah, like she would text me all the time. We'd like hype each other up. She'd like blow up the comment section. Like,
You know, I know a lot of girls who have just like online best friends like
Yeah.
that. And then they'll like fly somewhere and be like, we went to Scottsdale. Oh,
yeah,
Scottsdale's not
and
ready.
you link up, and
Yeah.
then they do little TikToks.
And then it's like the whole internet presence is that bestie.
yeah.
They're like, look at my best friend. She's so bad.
No, literally, but she is a baddie though.
Okay. Well,
It's
there you
I'm
go.
not one of those fake girls that's like, oh, my best friend's so bad.
So if she was busted, you would say on this podcast that Blessing was busted, but she's not. But you would say it if she was.
I don't think I attract. I don't think I
See?
attract best friends
Okay.
that are busted.
All
I just,
right, all right.
look. I'm not saying I'm bad. I'm just saying.
Do you have advice for girls who want to get into modeling or into music videos? Do they need to hit up your agent? Do they need to have an agent? What's that starting point? If someone's interested in being like professionally good looking, how do they start?
I would say always start with a portfolio and a good photographer, because you cannot get into an agency unless if you have professional headshots of you, full body shots, and they're not edited. I've seen girls get sent home. I've been on set and they're like, not to me, because I don't edit my pictures to where it's like, it doesn't look like me. There's some pictures I've over edited and I'm like, come on, let me delete that. Like, you don't even look like that. Come
You
on now.
admitted it. You,
Right.
Thank you.
Like,
thank
you don't
The
even look
world
like that.
changed with like Facetune and Snapchat
Face
filters.
app, like,
People like literally, they look like they don't have a nose because they just filter,
oh, I love
airbrush
the
the
filters
shit.
that make me look like I don't have a nose. I'm
Really?
telling, because I'm not even going to my insecure. I'm a very secure person. Anyways.
You can go into insecurities. Other people might share those insecurities. And
No, they're
we'll
going to
talk about-
comment and be like, no, that bitch got a big nose. It's okay.
No,
It's okay.
come on.
But I mean, I am insecure about my nose. It's fine. It's fine. I'm a little insecure about it, but
you
I
don't
can
have
get
to be
it done.
insecure. You
I'm
don't.
right. I could change it. My dad said, you don't like something? Change it.
There you go.
Change it.
There you
Or
go.
just be happy with it. But I would just say, biggest advice, don't over edit your pictures. Yes, like if you have a blemish on your skin or like, but don't change your body to where like you don't have an hourglass shape, for example, and then you change it to one.
And then someone sees that and then sees you in real life and they're like, this doesn't
Yeah.
look like you.
Yeah,
This
and
is a
it's
different
not
person.
to say like that's not beautiful, but it's to say like you're tricking people and you go to set and it's like, oh, that's not the same girl. And I've seen girls get sent home, and I think that's the biggest thing is to just be authentically you and have a good personality. When you're going to sets, don't act stuck up with your nose up in the air like, oh, I'm better than these bitches, even if you're thinking that.
Mm.
You want to go in there like, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to be nice to everyone because they're watching my personality.
Mm.
And they hate prudish girls. If you're prudish, no.
Prudish meaning what?
Like if you're stuck up, you're mean, you're like a pick me sha. Like, you know, you don't want to come across like mean, like a mean girl, like, oh, I'm going to put all these other girls down, because that's never beneficial.
Yeah.
Ever. They love seeing women that love other women, that support other women, because that's what a lot of modeling brands are about, is women empowerment. It's the biggest thing I think they preach.
It'd probably be really hard to work with women who are like especially catty to other women in that industry too. So it probably would make you not very employable to be like rude to colleagues.
Yeah, or directors or
Yeah.
managers on set and
Yeah.
acting too, I need this, too much of a diva,
Yeah.
you know, because I've been on set and I've had to bite my tongue. Like, I didn't like the way my makeup looked. It was too ashy on me. I could tell they never like did makeup on a brown person. I was like, okay, I look like the corpse, but I'm gonna pretend that I look
And you're
good.
just like, wow, okay, let's do this.
Let's
Shoot the
just-
damn thing.
Just pay me and let's do this. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would just say that's the best advice I could give someone. And I don't think you need a manager. You don't need one, but it definitely helps because they might have connections that you don't have.
Okay. So management helps with connections. Do you think that management helps add a level of like credibility to you as a professional in that industry, or is it something that you don't see helping? Like if you wanted to go get a job somewhere and you didn't have a manager, do you think that that could work against you getting that job?
It can if the manager's contract says like, sorry, I'm parched. You can't
We
like,
got drinks.
I have Invisalign in,
Oh,
so I would need
I lived
water.
that life. Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's tough.
struggle.
It's tough.
The struggle. I'm telling you, I might just get braces. This Invisalign, putting it back in and putting it
Oh
out,
my God.
and forgetting to wear, and then forgetting to put it back
And then
in.
it hurts as
It
fuck
hurts.
so bad to put it back in
I
the
was
next day.
telling him how it hurts right when I got here. He was like, "Don't be shy." I was like, "I'm not shy. It's just like this is killing me."
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
don't
want to pop it out? We could just pop it out.
No.
We'll record all the spit and everything that comes along with it. There's no way to take it out like without looking gross. It's impossible.
Like when you're on a date and you're
yeah.
eating, and just like, 1 sec, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom.
And the
take
guy
this
is
out.
just like,
oh my God.
and then he acts like it's okay. No, you're still hot, even though there's like spit coming out. Like,
there's no way to look cute taking these out.
Okay,
Yeah.
back to what you were saying. Yeah, no, it can stop you if the contract is like you can't work with anyone else. But my manager was pretty open. She's like, if you have a really good opportunity come through, let me know. You know, she was a very fluid because she used to be a model. I think when you have managers that are, not to sound sexist, but that are men that never modeled or maybe women that never modeled, I think they don't understand maybe on an emotional level of what you're like going through.
Yeah, I think it must be really difficult to put yourself in someone's shoes who's like trying to make a career out of finding a job, like acting too. Like it must be the same. It must be like very, very tough to try to put yourself out there over and over. And
combative lawyer.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So what made you want to become a lawyer?
Well, I started some live music spaces a long time ago in Tacoma. And the city kept shutting them down and telling me you can't do live music in this building. And so I ended up going down to the city and like learning about the regulations, and it was so boring, but like arguing with people at the building and land use department and saying, we're not a bar, we don't have alcohol, let us just do these shows, like we sell soda, like come on, what's the deal here? They're like, well, you need sprinklers if you have a certain amount of people, and all this different rules to keep people safe, but that were meant for really bars. And so I ended up signing leases at places, paying a big like first and last month's rent to rent it out and start a lease, assuming I was going to be able to do live music shows at this place on a regular basis. And the city would come out before the first show and say, nope, shut you down. Like you'll go to jail if you have a show here, all this stuff. And so I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And so I really had to dig in and understand and ask those questions that make you feel stupid. And I was like 18 years old, so I didn't know shit about anything, like I didn't know what building and land use even meant. And I had to go talk to these engineers in the city, and they were super cool and helped me to understand what the law was. And I tried again, and boy, that one wasn't right either. And I got to the point where the fire marshal actually like gave me his cell phone number because they were shutting down my venues so frequently that they were like, you're not going to stop doing this.
Right.
And it's a huge pain in the ass for us to shut you down after the fact. So let's just talk before you see a venue and sign a lease and pay all this money and then have us shut you down. So that's what we did. And the venues that I started back in, I don't know, 2008 or something like that.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. And
Sorry.
no, it's true. They're important places in Tacoma that are still doing live music now. And Tom Long still runs Real Art Tacoma, and that's a venue that I attribute to being like the first bit of my work in the law, because I had to really read it and understand it, and it's so boring sometimes, and you have to understand how it applies, and it's not written in a way to make people feel empowered. It's written in a way to make people feel like they're stupid.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand it, then anyone can tell you what it means and you just have to believe them. And so I
Yeah.
had to go in there and argue and say, this shouldn't apply to us, and here's why, and this and that. And eventually just that was sort of one of the big catalyst reasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually really inspirational. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't let someone stop you from doing what you love to do.
There's a lot of people in Tacoma that are haters, and it was
Yeah,
hard to
it's
like,
Tacoma.
yeah,
Oops.
there's not a lot else to do, I guess. But I actually I was a UW Tacoma student,
Wow.
and one of my professors was like, hey, I know you're interested in law school. You should talk to the advisor and then let them know like that you want to go to law school after graduation. And so my UW Tacoma like counselor advisor, I scheduled a meeting, and she said, there is absolutely no way you will go to law school with the grades that you have right now. And I think about it all the time. And it's like a lot of people, that kind of statement might affect them the opposite way, right? Really
Right.
shut them down and limit them. But I think it affected me in a way that I was like, oh, I'm going to show you. There's no way
That's
that I'm
so
gonna let that stop me.
crazy.
And now this
God.
winter, I'm going to be
Yeah.
a professor at UW Tacoma teaching business law.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my God.
So I'm really thank you.
That's
I'm really
so
excited.
inspirational for me.
And
Like, for real.
it feels really good. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
students are going to be empowered by that story. And my marketing professor from my time is now the dean of the entire business school at UW Tacoma. And he's like, Josh, you are exactly the type of student that we cater to here. It's someone who's like a first generation college student who comes from a family that maybe has some shit going on. And that's what Tacoma is. It's
Yeah.
not all people who are going to Harvard. That's okay.
Right.
But you don't need to go to Harvard to get an education and to do something great with your
That is so
life.
true.
So
I
people
agree.
just need to do what they need to do, and haters be damned.
I agree, because to relate in a way, I'm going to explain me and my mom, because when my dad died, I went back to college, and I'm not going to name names, but there were people in my family who were like, she's a model. She doesn't know. She's not going to be able to finish school. She's not smart. She's just thinks she's going to get
in
by
your
her
family
life.
that said that.
Yeah, you're going to get by your life looking pretty until you're not anymore. And that's it. And I was like, no, like I need something to fall back on. So I
Yeah.
got my BA too. I got it in social work because I was always like passionate about kids. I was always passionate about helping people who had like alcoholism issues, because I've had that in my family,
Yeah.
especially on my Hispanic side of the family. So it inspired me to want to do something about that. So I was like, okay, I'm not just conforming or just subjecting myself to being a model, and I can do other things too. Like, I can be a model and be educated too, And my mom, she had people
Some of the
doubt
most
her.
successful models are probably people who are educated because they
Right.
don't get taken advantage of in contracts. They
Right.
understand the business. That's a huge part of probably the success that,
Yeah.
big actors. I think Natalie Portman went to Harvard.
wow.
Like,
Wow, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That
There's
is so cool.
there's a lot of famous people who are also really educated too.
Yeah.
That you just expect when you see a movie star that they're just some
Oh, they use
famous
their
pretty person, right?
yeah, their
But
looks are just, oh, they're great actors, but they're not smart in this area. And people, I think they can be multifaceted. Like, you can
Mhm.
be
I
educated.
think everyone
and-
is multifaceted. You
Yeah.
don't know someone just
It's
based
not-
on their looks.
Right. And I think people hear my voice and they're just like, oh, she doesn't know anything. She's a little bimbo. Like, she doesn't know. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
Let
I'd
them
love for you to think
underestimate
that.
you.
I
Let them
love when
underestimate.
people underestimate
Hell
me.
yeah.
I love it. I'm like, yes, do it, please.
Now
do it
I'm
in
just
my face.
gonna blow that idea out of the
Literally.
water.
I had a counselor too in high school. She didn't think I was going to go to college either. at
Really?
all. Yeah, she was just like, you're not going to get in anywhere good. I mean, I just went to Central Washington University, so it's not that great. But like, so she
You
was
went to
kind of right.
college.
But I went to college.
You went to
But she was
college.
just like, I don't think you're going to last. I think you're not that hardworking. It's like, I went through a lot in high school. She didn't know the half
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
But I got my degree. I so badly wanted to send her a picture and be
Yeah.
like, this is me with my BA. Like, I graduated. Ha. I don't know. She was mean. She's like, you're just a cheerleader. Like, eh. But whatever. I'll never forget her.
So you let that motivate you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime people were mean to me, they talk about my voice, they'd treat me differently as a kid. I know this is a very liberal place, but there is racism here. I've had people definitely put me in a different box because I'm not, the famous saying, like, you're not black enough for the black kids. You're not white enough for the white kids. You're not, the Hispanics, hey, those are my people because they kind of accepted me. But anyways, I just feel like I just dealt with that a lot. So, yeah, anytime people try to box me in, I feel like it's motivation.
Yeah.
To keep me I'm like, wow, people are worried about me. Let me make them even more worried.
I think Lou Ferrigno is like a famous actor. He played the Hulk in like, I don't know, the 80s or something.
Oh, wow.
And I think he's got like a hearing deficit or something, and it made his speech different. And he was super made fun of, and it made him get into bodybuilding because people picked on him so much that he was like, I just got to be buff because then people won't pick on me. Yeah. And that led to his career as being the Hulk on this TV show.
Crazy.
And it's like a super empowering story. And it's like specifically about his voice and how he spoke. And I think, for so many people, that type of thing can make you like really self-conscious and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter what your voice sounds like. It matters what you have to say.
That is so true. That hits.
Yeah.
That hits home. I wish I could hear you say that when I was younger.
Well, say it into the camera for everyone that needs to hear it from you, because that's important,
No, it is. It's so important. I feel like that hits home for me. I want to cry. This podcast, oh my God, I did my
it's
makeup's
making you
too
so
expensive.
Emotional.
I'm just a sensitive. I'm a Capricorn, but I am sensitive.
Okay.
My moon's in Cancer.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Cancers
are big criers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Your moon is your emotions,
Oh, jeez.
It's your emotions. It makes you like whatever you feel like. If I was a Capricorn, my moon was in Capricorn, I'd be a pretty cold person.
Oh, okay.
1000%. Capricorns are so like strategic. They're so hardworking, which does kind of coincide with who I am. But people will say stuff to me, and I'm just like, oh my God, okay. Like, this is inspirational. Like, I'm such a girl. I tell everybody, like, anytime I cry, I'm like, I'm just a girl.
This is just who I am.
I'm just a girl.
I'm
just a sensitive little girly. I don't know. I'm 5'1". I don't know. I just don't. That's when I use my little voice to my advantage.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to use it.
Have you ever been in a car accident?
I have.
Was it your fault?
No. Well, actually, it was, but it was an accident with myself.
Oh, no. You had
So what happened?
You had a oopsie.
So what happened was I was driving my car, and there was like a tire. I think I was 18 years old, and I was going to Central Washington. I was driving back from like doing the laundry at my mom's house. And so I was just in my car driving. There was this huge tire in the middle of the road. Like you go through that pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I see it too late, and I jerk the car. But I jerked my car too much that it just started spinning.
Wow.
Out of control. 4 lanes to the right. My car flopped.
It like fell over sideways.
It was sideways, but not toppled. Like,
okay.
It was like sideways. And so I just remember thinking I was dead. I know this sounds kind of dark, but it's kind of funny in a way, because I was just sitting there like, oh my God, I'm dead.
What just happened?
Like, what just happened to me? And so this like lady, this old hick lady, like I was scared she's going to like,
why's she gotta be a hick lady? She's your savior.
She had a cowgirl hat on.
So she was from Puyallup? Why is she a hick? Come on.
It was a hick lady, but she was sweet. She came over. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Am I alive?" She was like, "Yeah, I can see you." I'm like, "I'm not a ghost." I thought I died. Like, damn, I died young. But hey, she was like, "No, you're here." Like, so she called the ambulance. Okay. And I was okay.
Well, that's actually very similar to a case I've worked on. Really? And the tire in the road is something that wasn't because of you. And you could have filed a lawsuit on that case and recovered money. So, damn, I thought you were going to say I hit a curb or something, but...
I do be hitting the curb. I'm going to need to call you because I think I can drive like my dad. Like my dad drives like a dude. He's really whipping... But no, I hit the curb and I'm like, oops, oh my God.
Well, if someone hits you, I'm here to help. But if you hit someone, give them my number, okay? That's all we do here. We're the hit E, not the hit-er.
Well, I think I will give you a call. God forbid, I pray that doesn't.
Yeah, that we don't need it.
Doesn't happen to me.
Okay, well, hopefully it doesn't happen to you.
Yes.
Last comments, a closing
Okay, I'll just do my last comments, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys should all make a Playboy account, playboy.com/RABacardiBunny. Links in bio at RABacardi on Instagram, ARIBAECARDI. Thank you so much for having me on your
Yeah, I'm so glad you
podcast.
came. I hope people
Oh my
listen to
God,
this, and I hope
same.
your followers get an opportunity to get to know the real you.
Of course, I'm gonna post clips of this annoyingly. My
Annoyingly,
followers
I
know how
love
I
it.
am. Thank you so much. I
Thank you for
appreciate
being
it.
on the show.
This
Thanks.
is so fun.